This show is presented by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute.
On today's show, we'll check out the highlights from the St. John's Country Day versus Bulls in girls soccer. We'll also look at the highlights from Bishop Snyder versus Trinity Christian in boys soccer, sponsored by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our athlete of the week is Brittany Range from Middleburg High School. We'll also check out video from the First Coast Games closing ceremony. We'll visit Calais Campbell's Jack's Pal football camp. And lastly, we'll look at the highlights from Bartram versus Mandarin in boys lacrosse. We'll be right back. It's time for ITG Next. I'm Haley Rash.
And I'm Nathan Dean. We'd like to take this time to thank our sponsors, the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute and the First Coast YMCA.
An integral part to many sports is their uniforms. It not only unites the teams, but also adds a little fun to the field and court.
And some teams have their uniforms that are recognized by everyone across the country.
Today, we're going to be going over our top 5 rankings of uniforms here in the States.
One way uniforms become nationally recognized is paying respects to the history of the city. Our number 5, the Detroit Red Wings, did just that. The Red Wings jersey dons a wing tire in the middle to represent Detroit's nickname, Motor City. The name Red Wings came to be when one of the early owners, James E. Norris, wanted to pay homage to the city's automotive industry. Unlike a lot of NHL teams, the Red Wings logo has stayed pretty much the same over the years, with the logo we know today being developed in the 1980s. The combination of the red and white color scheme and the wing tire makes their uniform both unique and unforgettable.
Hockey uniforms are very interesting to me. All the pads and then the stick and then the skates and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of material.
Yeah, it's a lot of material, and the Red Wings are one of the most historic teams in the entire league, and their uniform stands out perfectly for that.
Coming in at number 4, we're going to be talking about an iconic color duo, black and gold, and we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is impossible to think of the Steelers without thinking of their black and gold uniforms. The colors have stayed the same since the club's inception in 1933, but the logos have changed over the years. Some of their logos have included the Pittsburgh crest, the city skyline with a football behind it, and the construction worker. Their current logo was introduced in 1962 and based off the Pittsburgh U.S. Steel's flag. Their sleek ensemble sets them apart and reminds fans and non-fans alike of their impressive amount of Super Bowl wins and star players.
The Pittsburgh Steelers remain to be one of the most iconic teams in the National Football League, and with that uniform, you definitely can't miss.
Yeah, and wasn't there a song, Black and Yellow, going along with their iconic colors?
Wiz Khalifa reference.
A couple years ago when they were in the Super Bowl.
Yep, absolutely, and Wiz Khalifa brought that song, and they play that at every home game, so that song doesn't get forgotten, just like their uniforms. Well, one of the most historic teams in the National Football League, the Green Bay Packers, are number 3 on our list. Of course, the team who calls their fans cheeseheads have an interesting color combination of green and yellow. However, it wasn't always that famous color combo. From 1921 to the late 1940s, the team wore blue and gold. In the 50s, their new coach, Gene Ronzani, decided green should be replaced with blue because green is their name. The Packers uniform is by far one of the most recognizable in sports and is the perfect representation of the team.
Every time I think of the Green Bay Packers, I immediately go to that 70s show. One of the main characters, Red Foreman, is a major Packers fan. One of the episodes, he got season tickets. Like, it was this big deal, and honestly, that's where I put the connection together.
Not a huge fan of the 70s show, but I haven't even checked it out, so I should probably get into the show if they're mentioning a lot of things about the Green Bay Packers.
Yes, they are big Green Bay Packer fans. Coming in at number 2, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys, an iconic uniform that people even from outside Dallas wear. For many years, the Cowboys have been known as America's team, and that is partially thanks to the blue stars on their helmets. The symbol has become so popularized that even non-sports fans are able to recognize that it is from the Cowboys uniform. The navy blue and white paired with the pop of color of their tortoise pants amplifies their star power.
The Dallas Cowboys still remain to be America's team, and they definitely have a uniform that everybody seems to recognize.
Definitely, and even the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders have a little bit of that star power in their uniforms as well.
That's exactly right. Well, at number 1, everybody knows about this team playing up in New York for baseball, the New York Yankees. It is always up for debate whether or not the Yankees uniform is one of the most loved or one of the most hated, but we personally feel like it is one of the most memorable. There have been rumors surrounding the uniform design, such as the stripes were used to make Babe Ruth look slimmer and that they were the first jerseys to have numbers on the back. Well, both of those statements were proved false. The navy and white pinstripes of their uniform is a key representation of not only baseball, but of New York.
The pinstripes are pretty iconic. I know the bubblegum, the baseball bubblegum has that pinstripe on the packaging, so it kind of puts the baseball and uniform hand in hand.
And the Yankees have had the most World Series wins in all of Major League Baseball, so they have to wear that uniform and keep the history alive.
They must have something going on good with that pinstripe look. Our photo of the week this week is of our player profile shoot that we had here in Jacksonville, Florida. We'd like to give a special thank you to all of the local athletes who came out, spent their time with us, gave us some amazing interviews, and be sure to follow us on our social media at ITG Next, and you can see some more behind the scenes.
And our video of the week is from this year's FIFA Women's World Cup. Marta from Team Brazil scores from the penalty spot to become the most prolific scorer in FIFA World Cup history. With 17 goals, she passes Miroslav Klose, Ronaldo, and Ambi Wambach.
Speaking of girls soccer, let's check out the highlights from the St. John's Country Day School versus Bulls game.
We're young and we approach each game the same as we do any other game, and whether it's Bulls or University Christian or Mount Verde Academy, it's just about trying to get better for the playoffs and trying to get better every time we get on the field. So.
Welcome to the Bulls Studio. Skinner Bunko Stadium, George Hodges.
We both respect each other and we definitely want to beat each other. There's no doubt about that, but I don't come in here saying, hey, this is Bulls, we need to run our head through a wall and try and be Superman. It's just another soccer game, and we don't try to put any more value on one game than we do another until we get to the playoffs.
Let's get physical.
Play hard, play for your team, help each other, communicate, do the little things well. That's what we focus on in this program, is trying to do the little things well. Worrying about us, we can't worry about. Bulls has great players, but we can't come into the game trying to worry about all their great players. We need to worry about playing good soccer and how we play.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is a sports rehabilitation center here in Jacksonville, Florida, with many amazing doctors. They work in tandem with a lot of First Coast high schools, and the team at ITG Next was able to go and check out one of their clients, Bishop Snyder's game against Trinity Christian in soccer.
Sure. Well, a lot of our season, we're building up fundamentals, we're building up tactics, we're looking to exploit. We're the little man in our district, especially. You know, we're constantly putting it to the boys. Not a lot is expected out of us as we face the Bulls, the Kenny, the Episcopals of our district, and so we're really looking to pit them against that, use that as motivation throughout the season. So a lot of our training sessions were built very heavily tactically as well as technically, and through the last few games it's definitely started to bud and grow, and we're really excited about where we're going for the rest of the season.
Dear Lord, I pray. Dear Lord, I pray. That we shall play. That we shall play. Good game and win. Good game and win.
Stay with him. Stay with him. Good.
Oh, it's enormous. The health and recovery of the boys, especially for some of the bumps and knocks you take throughout a long, grueling season that soccer is, it's been enormous. We were extremely fortunate to have Lisa C. out here with us. That's been huge, absolutely.
My name is Brittany Range and I play basketball at Middleburg High School. My most memorable moment is probably scoring 1,000 points. After my sports career is over, I want to play college basketball. I would say my parents have helped me the most in my sports career. And the advice they gave me that stuck with me is to always just give my all. What makes me different from every other basketball player is I push myself and I train super hard to get the results I want.
So, who is your biggest sports inspiration?
Probably LeBron James. My whole family likes him, so we kind of follow him. Favorite basketball team is probably the Lakers, because LeBron's there. If I could play any other sport, it'd probably be volleyball. I play volleyball at school, so I kind of. My name is Brittany Range, and I'm living in the game.
Anyone can investigate, but the local station cares enough to make Jacksonville a better place to live.
Have you reported it? It looks like you work for the city. Have you reported it?
Investigative stories that make a difference.
Do you believe they're helping veterans?
When others give up, we get answers.
Do you think that money would have been better spent on those families?
The I-Team on News 4 Jax, uncovering, exposing, getting results.
This show is presented by First Coast YMCA.
The First Coast YMCA is currently putting on their annual First Coast Games. Now these games bring business communities in Jacksonville together to play sports such as basketball, football, and even Topgolf. Today we'll check out highlights from their closing ceremony 5K.
Really, I just want to say we've been doing this for 14 years, and this today is our largest closing ceremony event. It was over 500 runners. We continue to make this something that you are proud of, but also something that your companies can get involved with.
Favorite memory? There's so many. Each and every year, it's so much fun to be out here. I usually work the check-in desk with Dana, so all of those out there know me. Take a picture of your ID, put it on your phone, and show up to check in. But the favorite memory is just, I like the closing ceremonies when we're all together and we're all celebrating. It's over and we're looking forward already to the next year.
Oh my goodness, my favorite memory has to be the tug of war. And we had a big guy. We had a big guy on the end. And we just didn't think anyone was gonna pull him down. And they pulled him down. So that was fun. We've been looking forward to this ever since then. We were only able to compete in 5 of the events. And we're just excited to be able to continue our participation and to support First Coast Games.
You have some people that come out that I see in the office as kind of like quiet and timid, and they really got that competitive streak and that fire, and it's just, it's surprising to see some people that you don't see that in the office environment. It really comes out in the field. It's a lot of fun.
Contact Dana Troger or go to firstcoastymca.org and check out the First Coast Games. It's a great way to start a fitness program, include it in your company's wellness program, have fun, get to meet a lot of people, and get to know a whole lot more about Jacksonville and the Y and what's going on in your community.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Sharks.
The Jags' own Calais Campbell is no stranger to helping out the Jacksonville community. He held a camp for kids and teens at Ed Austin Park.
And that's right, we got a chance to interview Mike Hughes, Marquise Lee, Calais' family, and Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams.
Check out the highlights next.
CRC Foundation has been in the works for about 9, almost 10 years, and we started on behalf of my dad, Calais, and our father, the Charles Richard Campbell Foundation, and one of the main goals is to work with disadvantaged youth, teaching life skills, athleticism, things that they might not necessarily get in the classroom, giving them the extra step to feel motivated, encouraged, and do things that help them excel to the next position in life.
I'm involved in this event because of Calais Campbell. I know you try to do a lot in the community as far as giving back to the kids, and me being from where I'm from, never had the opportunity to actually get somebody to come out and show us love, so I try to give as much love as I can to the kids and just show them that we're here to support them. I think it's going pretty good. A lot of rowdy kids for sure, but they're enjoying themselves, having fun. That's all that matters. Learning a couple things, so that's all important.
I'm just coming out here and just be, encouragement. When they see our face and they say, you say, good job, little dab, little high five, you know, they like that. I feel like kids on my calling. I like kids, I like seeing their faces. I feel like they make, you know, the world a better place. And of course, they're the youth, and you know, who are going to be our next leaders. So anything I can do to help be a role model, that's what I like to do.
So we do this every year, just an opportunity for us to kind of kick the summer off and get kids engaged in PAL or introduced to PAL, and we think PAL is an important part of the community, and we're engaging about 4,500 kids a year in school, after school, summer programs, and youth sports, and just a great way not only to interact with law enforcement, we think that's important and an important part of PAL, but a great way to keep kids busy, to keep them off the street corner. And, you know, after school and summer programs is where that's at. And so PAL's a big part of that for us.
Yeah, it's been a great day. I mean, it's a beautiful day, and I think the kids are having a great time. Everyone that's involved has been just talking highly about the event.
Well, the lacrosse season may be coming to an end in 2019, but we had a recent game with Bartram Trail against Mandarin.
The ITG Next team sat down with Bartram Trail's head coach, Max Van Arsdale, and we got to see who were the key players and what his expectations were for the game.
Let's check out that video now.
We're a really young team this year, and so we've hit some bumps in the road. We're expecting to grow a lot throughout the progress of the season. We're just looking to mature these guys right now, get them some experience, and I think by the end of the season, we could definitely be a different team. Yeah, we have some players out there who really emerged as leaders on our team. We have number 5, Griffin Gast, who's one of our senior leaders. We only have 4 seniors this year. A lot of guys who are new to the lineup didn't play last year, but Griffin's one of those leaders on the offensive end. On the defensive end, we have senior captain Connor Easterling, who's there. Zach Fleming, another one of our captains on the offensive end, number 21. Another guy to keep an eye on. And so we've been working on handle pressure, handle the ball on the perimeter. Defensively, we're working on understanding the assignments, communicating, really just the basics. That's been a huge focus for us. And then we're sprinkling in opportunities where we're still playing fast and learning how to push and transition and pressure other teams as well. Out here, our team is not about the wins and the losses. It's about, forming this brotherhood, and it sounds corny, but we really do buy into that. Some of the most memorable things I'll have in high school aren't the wins and the losses, but it's the guys who they're on a team with. And so not just me, but our whole staff really buys into that idea. And we want to make these guys, leaders in the classroom, leaders in the community, and leaders on the lacrosse field. So it does go well beyond just the field. You need to be able to execute. You need to be able to take care of the little things. We have a mantra, if you take care of the little things, the big things take care of themselves. So we're not sitting here talking about our X's and O's need to be better than their X's and O's. I'll give our playbook to any team we play because I don't care that they know what we're about to do, because we need to be able to execute. And it just boils down to which team's gonna execute better than the other. That's what lacrosse is all about. My favorite moments tend to be, I wouldn't say there's just one, but it's when the light goes on. You can just see them all of a sudden, something they've been struggling with, and then it just clicks. Things that we're preaching, like hard work and practice and dedication and commitment, that those things, they will help you reach your goal.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. A special thank you to our sponsors, the First Coast YMCA and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute.
Be sure to check out our What's Next segment where we cover this year's Bishop Kenny volleyball team.
Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. You can find us at ITG Next.
And if you have an inspiring story, please feel free to share it with us on our social media. And be sure to check out our website, itgnext.com, where you can see some of our merchandise, history of our company, and what you can see in the near future.
The latest issue of ITG Next is out now, and you can get that at our website, itgnext.com.
And there was a story about Nick Foles with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this article, so be sure to pick up a copy.
I'm Haley Rash.
And I'm Nathan Dean. Thank you for watching this week's edition of ITG Next.